The Hyundai IONIQ 9, it's absolutely massive. It's actually longer than the BMW X5 and it's 1.8 meters tall. It's fully electric and it's now available in Ireland. And I've been given the keys of it for a few hours and we're looking around. Welcome to Nobby on Cars. And yes, I know it's pronounced Hyundai in many parts of the world. In Ireland, we're just a little bit different. And these reviews are for the Irish market after all. And Ionosphere Green is this colour, which is perfect for the Emerald Isle. It even matches the trees. In fact, don't buy this car in black. Well, buy it in black if you want, but you won't see the lines that this car has throughout the wheel arches, the sides, the roof rails, down into the rear. You won't see the black mirror housing, the contrast with the green, the chrome trim that goes around the side and into the back of the car, the little strips over the rear wheel arches. You'll miss lots if you get it in a dark colour. It looks pretty good in silver as well. Then there's the daytime running lights across here. So they're vertical design, then the normal strip including your indicator. It's just got a lot of stuff going on. You could call it busy or you could call it futuristic looking. Not really the first time we've seen this kind of radical design. Hyundai did it a couple of years ago, the IONIQ 5 with the rear light cluster. It looked very futuristic. Down here, some active air curtains. Only if it needs it, they will open to cool. Huge big plate here for your sensor. Very decent camera on the front and the badge. Under here, a very, very generous boot. This is the dual motor version. In fact, we're only getting one version in Ireland, but even though it's dual motor, it still has a massive frunk. There's actually a button on the inside to help you get out if you get lost in there. True story. Drag coefficient of 0.269 over the front, helping this car go further than the EV9, which is essentially the same car underneath. A wheelbase of 3.1, just over 3.1 meters between the rear wheel and the front, so you're getting loads and loads of space on the inside of the car. It's almost 1.8 meters tall. If you like your roof boxes, you've got these roof rails. It will be quite hard to reach though, depending how tall you are. Privacy glass compounded on the inside by some rear protection blinds for the family, and the door handles also pop out. I love the detailing of the IONIQ 9 inscribed on the inside, and these are 20-inch alloy wheels which complete the Irish spec. You could also continue with this a lot going on theme with the sides of the door, because this huge crease on the side, you've got this chrome plate over here, and there's no denying this has been inspired by a Volvo estate. There's just no arguments for that, unless you want to get involved in the discussion down below. A massive, huge brake light bar here. Safety is paramount in this car. There's a lot of safety features. I'll describe that in just a second, but no one's going to miss you braking in the IONIQ 9, that's for sure. Same with the lower section of the bumper. So you've got this silver trim going on. There's a bit of black. You've got obviously the paint colour of the car. They're like putting little dots of lights all over the vehicle, including lower down here. Sometimes the indicators and stuff are very low down in the Hyundai design. In here now, massive, massive boot. Obviously this is a three-row car for the 7-seater version. The only version we're getting in Ireland, by the way. There's not a 6 in our version coming, at least, so it's just signature, which in many ways has a huge amount of spec. What it doesn't have, I'll show you in just a couple of seconds, but it does have electrically adjustable seats for getting the different rows up and down in your car. You still get 338 litres in this section with the third row up, which I think is very, very impressive. Some of the figures then are a little bit complicated because they go from the floor to the roof line. Let's do it the old-fashioned way, will we? If you go from the top of the floor here, where the third row would be down, you're getting just shy of 4 feet long. So there's an awful lot of space that you can cram things in here. And then, look at this, the party piece. So you hold the button down pretty quick, actually, by third row standards. The new Land Cruiser is not as fast as this, by the way, and is a lot more expensive. All you have to do is pop up the headrest part yourself, and you can tweak how high or low this roof can go if you're in underground car parks and things like that. And there is a little bit of storage down here, but as I said, the frunk is massive, so you'll probably put your cables there if you want to bring them with you. Now, I'd imagine a lot of people will be considering this car instead of a Volvo EX90, mainly on price, but Volvo are famous for safety, so let's just see how the Hyundai stacks up. So forward collision avoidance assist, lane keep assist, which actually isn't too intrusive, does a nice job. Blind spot, rear cross traffic monitoring, save exit warnings. If you're trying to open a door into a cyclist coming up on the inside, it won't open. Smart cruise control, including stop and go. So if you're on a motorway and you come to a stop, it'll keep stopping the car for you. You've got highway drive assist, handoff detection, so it'll know if you're acting the lane follow assist, remote parking, side parking distance warning. You get a little kind of display on the inside for that. Same with the avoidance assist if you are trying to park, and rear parking collision avoidance assist. We've all been there if you've driven a modern car, thinks you're going to hit something, slams on, scares the life out of you, but works. And the surround view overview camera. So compared to a Volvo, I'd say pretty safe. I've been in the back of worse third row cars. That thing is just impressive how that works. Also on this side and on both sides, you get a charging port for people in the rear. You get their own air vent over their head. The glass roof doesn't come all the way back here, but there's still plenty of light because these windows are absolutely massive. There's good size drinks holders, and when you pull this seat back, you can obviously determine how much or how little leg room you have, but there's actually quite a lot. And then getting out, even as an adult, doesn't have to be this big convoluted affair. You just push that button and you can fairly easily get yourself out. First of all, the angle of which these doors open, massively wide for getting kids in and out of. If this had a 6-seater, you can rotate them, so you can also turn the seat sideways to get them in. Irish spec car is not going to get some thud off those doors. In fact, sometimes you've got to close them from the outside twice because they don't fully close. They're very, very heavy. As I mentioned, we got the blinds here. Again, huge big door, bins down below, and the drinks holders. So much knee and feet space. It's totally flat. You've got adjustability then on these individual seats. By the way, there's Isofix on the rear too also, so there's 4 Isofix seats in total here. An armrest that you can actually access from the back. This spec doesn't have the extendable area here, but there is a huge just general storage space down there, and you get your own climate control with air cooled and heated seats on the rear outer 2 seats. And the armrest, yeah, it's an interesting angle. Oh no, you can adjust it. That's brilliant. Everyone else, do that, will you? That's very, very handy. Loads of head height as well. It's just an incredibly spacious car on the inside, wherever you're sitting. And if you're a bit of a passenger princess, you're in luck in this car because you can recline the seat all the way back and just stretch out on longer drives. And like, it's business class back here, it really is. Just missing a glass of something cold. The screen that you get on the car wraps around. All of the functions are stuff we've seen on cars going back as far as the IONIQ 5. They haven't really updated how the graphics look, how you control it. What is a huge difference between this and the EV9, however, is this screen. If you like physical buttons and knobs to twist and buttons to push, you're in luck. This is the car for you. Now, again, some trims outside of Ireland will get a little storage drawer down here. We do still have one at the front. You can chuck the keys down there, but there are some little areas that differ. This whole center console doesn't move back and forward, also on the Irish trim spec. Now with the car, you don't need the key. You've got that key card, have it on you. There's an NFC sensor here. The armrest is massive. So there's your typical floor, and then you lift that out, and I swear to God, it is huge. You'd lose an entire arm down there. It's just a pity that they haven't got a cooler box function because they've got the space for it. A couple of drinks holders, USB-C charging, again more textures and dots signifying the Morse code, lettering on the steering wheel. We've got regen, including full iPedal Max, so that's essentially one pedal driving. Head-up display on Irish specs, rear view digital camera. If you don't want that, you can just flick it and go to your normal one. We get the normal mirrors. It's 0.259 drag coefficient if you get the digital mirrors, but they're not always great. Keep it simple. Massage and memory seats, Bose sound system, including noise cancellation effectively for the outside, same way your AirPods work. And they've also put some sort of compound into the tyres to reduce tyre noise. Oh, and the ambient lighting is quite nice. There is a huge amount of silver here. Now, this, for the price, might feel a little bit cheap compared to something like BMW, for example. Top of the glove box is a floating shelf, which is handy. And in the glove box, you don't get that same UV filter that you do in the Santa Fe on Irish trim specs. Up to 100 watt maximum charging, so there's 3 USB-C ports, there's a 12 volt. It's just got an awful lot, and hill descent control if you don't want to do that through the Regen, because it's quite a big bus, and as you're gathering momentum down hills, the sensor is right in front of you here, and some more buttons to open things like the boot and the charging port. Oh, on that charging port note, let's talk about it. WLTP, the car, has an official range of 620 kilometers with 350 kilowatt DC charging. It's got 800 volt charging architecture. I think real world, there's a lot of comments online to say it's sort of 250, which is still very, very fast by today's standards. And I'm not even really sure if we have 300 kilowatt chargers in Ireland just yet. You're going to charge it at home for the most part. That is going to be anywhere from 5 to 10 cents a kilowatt hour if you have an overnight rate. So you can charge these things for a lot less than putting petrol in them, or indeed if it was a plug-in hybrid. There's also a vehicle to load, so you can charge external devices using the car. In theory, that means 10 to 80% in about 24 minutes, and this car has a 110 kilowatt hour battery. Not exactly small. Hello. In other reviews, the charging curve seems to be really, really impressive. I will have the car for a week-long road test in August. I'll check the motorway range and the efficiency and that charging curve when I have a bit more time with the car. We are talking about a big car. Not to say the safety aids don't help. They do. The screens help. But it's still a big thing. When you're on twisty, narrow roads, that's definitely when you feel it most. It doesn't have an air suspension or an option for that, but it has been tuned to give you comfort and still do a decent balance of handling, in my opinion. These kind of cars, they're never set out for amazing road holding. There is a bit of lean, there's a bit of body roll. It's a heavy vehicle. The suspension has been tuned to give you the best of a comfort world, slightly over the handling world. And in this type of car, is that really a big priority anyway? You want everyone to be comfortable. You don't want anyone saying they feel car sick down the back, especially in the price of this thing, because puke is a hard smell to get out of a new car. Trust me. A little bit upsetting that when you turn off the speed beeps, it kills the speed sign recognition. So you've got to use your Google Maps or whatever to then determine what speed you're doing. Incidentally, it's all wirelessly connected through your phone. Great commanding view of the road. Like you can see every direction you look. The A-pillars are quite narrow, so good visibility coming out of junctions. Blind spot is clear, but you have that camera setting also down here. There's just a sense of it's an easy thing to drive. It does a lot of it for you, and you've got oodles and oodles of space. 308 brake horsepower, which is quite a jump on the entry version of the EV9. That's just over 200. Indeed, the same if you get the rear wheel of this car, which is not available in Ireland. Just once again, there is a performance model. Do you really want one in this type of car? I think 308 is the sweet spot. It still has over 600 Newton meters of torque. So all you have to do is squeeze the throttle and you're on your way. Best I've seen is about 18 kilowatt hours per 100 kilometers today, which is all right. Will you get that magic 600 kilometers? It really depends. I've seen other road tests in very, very cold conditions, and at motorway speeds, you're probably looking at a minimum of 200 miles to 250 miles if you're watching this in the UK. But that's in proper cold temperatures. Whatever they've done with the Bose noise cancelling and the tyres, it's overall quite a quiet cabin. Other benefit, of course, of the twin motor version is you're getting more grip, and it also puts it up to some of the competition like Volvo that are also competing in this space, although you'll be waiting a while probably still yet to see a Volvo EX90 on Irish roads. I mean, these are familiar twisty roads for me, and it can do more than you'd ever wanted to do. I'm trying to imagine, you know, if this was crammed with 6 other passengers, someone would be telling me to slow down. The iPedal Max setting is also excellent. You lift off, car pretty much will come to a halt in a couple of seconds. A nice relaxing way to drive around, especially in built-up environments. The air-cooled seats are also one of the best I've ever tried, because normally they don't feel very air-cooled. They just are like a whimper. Not the case in this. A little bit more optimized for drag coefficient than the EV9, but in many ways it does feel like a similar car to drive. I mean, it is on the same platform after all. What do you think of the colour though? I've seen it today parked beside a black, and you just don't see anywhere near the same amount of lines and details in the bodywork that you do in the bright one. And if you like that, well then get the bright colour, and if you like lines hidden, get the dark. That would be my advice from standing side by side. Lane keep assist, by the way, it will do its job. It'll pull you back in when it needs to. It's not going to snap the steering wheel out of your hands, but it'll definitely let you know it's there, and it'll vibrate also at times. So again, loads and loads of safety features on the car. I will do a longer road test in about 4 weeks time, so come back to me then and I'll let you know how I get on with kind of living with the car, using it with the kids, the dogs, the bikes, all the family stuff that you probably need to know about the IONIQ 9 before you actually pull the trigger. On a first impressions basis though, I'm impressed, and the Irish department have managed to get a huge amount of spec into this car for less than some of the competition. An interesting one. 78,495, that's the price. One trim, which actually makes everyone's job, including the salespeople's job, and your job for making your mind up, do you want this or not, pretty easy. It is crammed full of tech and spec, and as I'm sure, no doubt I said in the EV9 video, the next step up is Volvo, and that car is considerably more expensive and is massively delayed due to software issues. So when you need this size of car and you want to go electric, it's actually offering an awful lot of value. It's a little bit more expensive than the Earth version of the EV9, but it's cheaper than the GT line, which you have to go to get very similar levels of spec and power. So actually, Hyundai have kind of cut Kia's lunch here in Ireland with the pricing of this vehicle. And with the interior and just the tweaks here or there, I would have one of these over the EV9 now. You could argue, does it feel like an 80 grand almost car with some of the interior? I think overall it's actually fine. Look at prices of cars these days. We all know the story with that. And the size of this thing, the versatility with the space, I think there's easier cars to pick holes at in the pricing, to be honest. And I'd get it in this colour. Don't get it in black. Whatever you do, let me know what you think. Is it on your short list? I know it's a lot of money, but it's an awful lot of car, and well, it's finally here. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.